part 18 of an ongoing series and was created by Darkos, Poison Labo, and Ringo. Support them and catch a full using the links below. After seemingly doing away with Rubalt and Rylabu, Omni swears to the cosmic villains that they're going to pay for what they've done. As the Destroyer is easily able to subdue the vengeful warrior. He instructs Dula to break this ridiculous illusion at once. He's grown tired of these antics. Although at first a little confused. It only takes a second or two for it to register what he means. The wizard snaps his fingers to reveal a spaceship, not at all unlike the one Babidi used when sending our heroes to various realms in their fights with Dabura, Yakon, and Pui-Pui. With only a single interloper in the room with them. Although her arms and legs strongly beg to differ, the gills on her head greatly resemble Jin's race, the destroyer of Universe 12. Solaga reasons that she used magic to try to trap them within the spaceship, and end that illusion. Without asking why or investigating further, Amaron decides he's seen enough and it's time to get back on the road to their goal. Continuing their venture through Universe 10, Solaga puts together the obvious. It's now clear that this universe predicted their arrival. They already took the lead upon confronting him. Someone has tipped off the universes about him, so they should expect the same treatment from here on out. Specifically, their next destination of Universe 6. Blocking his fist, Dula chortles that he'll be waiting for anyone who dares. Clearly not intimidated, even after being temporarily outmagicked in this realm. On contemplating their next move, the Destroyer states that hundreds of millennia have passed since they were initially wiped from existence. It's most likely that the 6th universe is no longer in the same condition that it was back then, so the others better not let down their guard. While these guys here may have been virtually no threat outside their illusions, there's no telling what the other universes could have up their sleeve. It wouldn't be too much longer until they'd arrive at the second portal, the one that'll take them to the final stretch before the Grand Priest Palace. The question, however, remains, what happens when they do finally get there? In said universe, specifically on Sadala, the Saiyans continue their intense training under Vegeta's guidance. He berates Cabba to get a move on already! Can't he see that she's leading the dance? He needs to take control of the situation and get on the offensive. Getting a glance over at Caulifla, at least she seems pretty confident with how this little tango's going. Cabba rubs the mark off his face as he compliments his counterpart. She's done really well, but he hasn't had his last word yet. Firing a Kikoha into the distance, which translates to a regular energy wave despite my initial conflation with Kiko-Ho. Caulifla questions what the heck is he doing? Does he really need to warm up by throwing a simple Kikoha right now? Firing off another. Young Saiyan comes searing towards his foe. Easily dodging, she asks if those stupid blasts were supposed to be a diversion or something. But an ambush would be more accurate. When Cabba explodes her head all over the battlefield! The Saiyans are covered in blood, a piece of brain got on Vegeta's upper lip. She lies throwing up in the distance.
You're not funny!
Aw. Sending Caulifla flying across the battlefield, Vegeta encourages Student to keep it up. Peeking over her peaks, she has no idea how to stop this attack. Not only that, she doesn't even have time to think. Though she tries to stop it the only way she can. It looks like she's fallen right into the trap set by her adversary. On the ground and knocked out of Super Saiyan form. Cabba shouts in excitement that he finally did it! He finally beat Caulifla! And according to the scoreboard, it looks like he has a lot to be excited about after so much hardship. Up until now, their rivalry was about as one-sided as Aaron Rodgers versus Chicago. Anyway, the first thing the exhilarated student does is sprint over to Mr. Vegeta. He inquires if he saw that. At last, he has his own signature technique, and he got to use it in battle. Who shows pride in his protege. This is what he can accomplish, but he has to want it. And it may be true, Caulifla isn't exactly ecstatic at the idea of getting her butt kicked. Nonetheless, she also shows her appreciation for her soon-to-be teammate, and I guess former teammate as well. She calls that a heck of a technique. This display of sportsmanship confirms some much-needed character development for her. Their leader tells them all to come on. They've all made very good progress in their individual training. Now it's time to take it to the next level. But the next level? Cabba wants to know what he means by that. A question his mentor is happy to answer. Whether interrupted by his senses or actually what he meant, Vegeta takes to the sky as he can feel a monstrous ki. It's actually quite similar to a god of destruction. Perhaps. Cutting off his train of thought again, he can feel it moving this direction. It must have spotted his ki as well. Not ideal, but he yells for everyone to listen to him carefully. Given his slightly more than usual stoic attitude, the magician asks his venerable heir if there's a problem. But can't he feel it? Salaga explains that Amron has already warned them that Universe 6 is full of surprises. But this chapter just full of characters who can't wait to talk. Yet another interruption takes place as the Destroyer informs the duo that they'll be approaching from the other side of the planet instead. Moving the ship, it seems the villain wants to land on a particular point on this planet. But is it to meet with Vegeta head-to-head, or to give them a few seconds beforehand? Below, Vegeta screams for Cabba to immediately go warn King Sadala. He must shelter all civilians. Then he himself needs to be brought back here as soon as possible. While the young warrior has his reservations, his elder scolds him not to argue. Doing so, the prince next turns his attention to Broly. He instructs him to get ready. The same goes for the others, demanding all fighters follow him. Cabba tears through the palace. He's never seen Mr. Vegeta in such a state before. This must be a very serious situation on their hands. Appearing before one of the castle guards, he hollers that he must see His Majesty immediately. Not wasting any time, the king actually appears through the giant double doors. He inquires his young captain what exactly is his demeanor about. He tries to say that he has no idea what's going on, but Mr. Vegeta sent him to tell His Majesty to order the special forces to implement a curfew. All the civilians of his kingdom need to get to safety. He also must go with him to the training camp as soon as possible. Bleeding! Sadala places his hand on his shoulder and utters, "Son." He thanks him. It's worth noting that he likely doesn't actually mean son in the biological sense. He turns to the robot guards and asks if they heard that. With a toneless, "Yes." They will leave now. Gathering the forces of Sadala's army, he commands them all to expand their ki. After they make what appeared to be a shield of some kind, Cabba and the king headed off to meet with Vegeta. Sadala assumes the worst and speculates that this war started much earlier than expected, hasn't it? However, there is no clear indication of whether or not the war itself has begun. Any which way, the Universe 7 Saiyan doesn't believe that these guys have come to greet them politely either. Their best bet is for the king to go join the others and help motivate them for what's to come. He trusts he can handle this task with ease. In response, Sadala assures Vegeta that he can count on him, proving that after their little skirmish from before, the pair have discovered a newfound respect for one another. And in no better time, perhaps. Vegeta and Broly might be a pair to be reckoned with. Having another on equal or near-like level as the king will surely help them in this battle. But there's no time for this sentiment. They're here! Dula peers down on the planet and chortles out that they've actually been waiting for him. What an honor. Looks like their assumption was right and their reputation preceding them. Slugga adds that they've also put up some kind of magic barrier, referring to the ki blast towards the sky. Of course, it's nothing Dula can't take care of. When Amaron pipes up with an issue, he doesn't believe his underling will be able to get anywhere with his magic. Not efficiently, at least. It's a ki shield. He'll handle it himself. The king demands his soldiers not to give up. He orders them to maintain their positions. Broly suggests that he go join the others. They appear to be struggling quite a bit, an idea the prince refutes. He's going to need him by his side. They need to not take any chances. Still in space, the wizard finds this bunch a lot more interesting than those of the previous universes. Does his counterpart not agree? Who also feels this way. They're nevertheless facing their limit, and this plan of theirs is counterproductive. What do they hope to accomplish by only delaying the inevitable? Sensing Vegeta, he knows he should be aware of what kind of opponent he's facing. He should worry more about what comes next. When Amaron unleashes his newly acquired destruction energy, revealing exactly what Vegeta feared. He suspected this guy might be one of the gods of destruction. Even though the barrier is disappearing, King Sadala urges his men to continue strong. Unfortunately, the reality is they won't be able to hold out much longer. It's time. Landing. Vegeta slashes away the smoke, scowling they're here at last. The previous dialogue also seems to suggest that the ki shield was only a way of finding out a few things. If this group was indeed hostile, and if one of them possessed Destroyer Ki. Getting straight to the point, he inquires what they owe this man's divine presence here. The Destroyer doesn't answer, merely stating that Vegeta is strong. But he didn't need some stranger to come all the way down here and annoy him with his minions to know that. So Amaron gets a little more personal and mentions that Vegeta is not from here, and he's been trained by an angel, the one known as Whis. But how? How could he know this? Who is he? Continuing, he may have undergone angelic training, but his power, it doesn't seem like. Pausing. He sees now. He can simply change his power level. Broly innocently points out that this guy seems to be ignoring him, something the prince is already aware of. Looking deep into his soul now, he is a Saiyan, like the majority of the inhabitants of this planet. And what's on the page is a little bit of a translationism, but from the original French version, Amaron actually comments how the average Saiyan power is relatively adequate, which is rare. Though his constant narration is starting to get on Vegeta's last nerve. If Moonface here isn't going to give him some answers, he's going to hurl him back into space, prompting the god to scoff for him not to say things he might regret, mentioning Vegeta's name directly. This is as far as you go! The sickle of this matches all my energy attacks! This is the last time I'm asking you! Who the hell are you? Combination of brute force, clever magic, and destruction energy, will Vegeta and the other Saiyans be able to overcome the sinister trio? And if not, with Universe 6 as the final line of defense before they encounter the Grand Priest, what will this mean for the multiverse? On the flip side, what will this mean for the inter-universal war? Amaron's own hubris comes back to bite him, and these three are able to be defeated here and now.